And looks like we are live. First, I want to test the audio and make sure the video is good. So mic check 1, 2. Do we sound okay,
Mic
everyone?
check.
Mic check 1, 2.
We're about to rap. Or are we gonna get into the rap game?
No, not about the rap. unless you got some lyrics for us,
Oh
Simon.
man, I wish I could freestyle, dude. Like, just can't think
All
that
right.
fast on my feet. And in terms of rapping, like,
All right. So it looks like we already got a few people here in the live stream here. It looks like the audio is good to go. Looks like video is good to go. Rick says, I don't think you should be happy that you sold your StormX. The team behind Simon and the utility of this application and token are going to be around for a long time. And Rick, he's actually a big supporter of you as well, Simon. So,
awesome. Hey,
yeah.
Rick, nice to meet you.
And so everyone said everything is good. So first and foremost, we got a special treat today, everyone. I got the pleasure and privilege of talking with the co-founder of StormX, online crypto cashback company. First mover in the space as well, I have to say. Simon Yu, I want to say thanks for coming on the channel and just want to kind of talk to you a little bit. I know you got some secret news you want to share with us towards the later of the interview, so I kind of want to save that towards the end. But thanks for coming on, man. How you doing on this Sunday?
I'm good. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Good, good. And so, Simon, before we kind of get into StormX, the company, for some people that may not be familiar with who is Simon, the CEO of StormX, who is Simon? Because for me, just in simplest terms, I know you went to college, figured out it really wasn't for you. Then you started your own food truck company, successful, selling some famous tacos, which I still want to try.
Yeah,
And so, and then for that, and then in college, you also met, your co-founder with StormX, which
yeah,
led into, I believe it was BitMaker at the time, and then
yeah.
evolved into StormX and all of that. So kind of tell us how that evolved and everything.
Awesome, man. Yeah, awesome to know. Hear that you know what BitMaker is as well. It's pretty cool. It's like the real OG back in the day. Yeah, so a little background about myself. Yeah, my parents and our family, we immigrated to the States when I was 5. It was like 26 years ago. And then yeah, from Korea. But my parents are very hardworking people. They, in the beginning, like they just had like $5,000 when they came here. Like that was all they had. Like that, and then like barely could support anything. Like I was sharing my room with my parents when I slept, and like for like 3 years, and then they eventually like saved up enough money to open a Korean restaurant, and then that evolved into like a frozen yogurt shop in Oregon, and then like a couple of those, and then yeah, like in Oregon, lived there for about like what I don't remember, like probably the better half of my year, and then when I was going to college in UW, I flew out to Seattle and started living there during my sophomore year. My parents, their small business went under, and so they declared bankruptcy. And I was kind of in a situation where I was like lower middle class, and then I was forced to try to make a living for myself because like I was paying out of state tuition. It was really expensive, and then like it was definitely too much pressure on my dad at that time. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna drop out. I know you're having a really hard time. I'll go back to just working, and and I'll save up enough money so eventually I can go back to school and fund my own education and stuff like that. So I started working at Bank of America as a teller, but it was like barely above minimum wage, so I couldn't afford rent, living costs. Also, just like my student loans had started activated again because I wasn't going to school anymore, and that was like $500 a month. And I'm like, I can't pay for this. So I ended up having to like either get a second job, or I needed to start my own business, which I wanted to start my own business and thought I could earn more money that way. But I you know so it rains a lot in Seattle, and you brought this up before we went live. It rains a lot in
Yeah.
Seattle. There's a lot of students here at UW, which is the college I went to, and um, at nighttime, like people study pretty late here at the like libraries because it's 24/7. But there's not that many food options, and people don't want to go out as much. So there was like I'm like, hey, like it rains a lot. I think it'd be kind of cool if I start this delivery company where I deliver these like Korean tacos to kids around campus. And so I started that business. Asked my dad to let me borrow $100 to get ingredients and all this stuff like started. And then in the beginning, like he didn't want to lend it to me because he's like the very traditional like Asian dad. He's like, just go to school, get a good job, and then like kind of like don't be like me in a way. Like don't
Yeah.
don't risk yourself and do a small business or whatever. And then I'm like, no, I really want to do this. I really want to try this. So eventually he let me, borrow the $100, but within like 2 weeks, I spent all of it, just because like there was no customers, but I still had to keep making the food, right? And so the food costs, like I burned through all of it. So I came to a point where I didn't have money, so I needed to start like eating peanut butter jelly sandwiches for like every meal, or just skip meals entirely. And that's how I sort of got my start for my entrepreneurial journey. And then eventually, like, um, yeah, it ended up the business ended up doing well. Like Facebook back in like 2011 didn't have algorithms. So when like this, like I think it was like a Wednesday or a Thursday, so I sold my taco for $3 each to people on campus. Like I did all the delivery, all the cooking, and all the like cleaning, and everything by myself. And then like for 2 months I had no customers, and then all of a sudden, like two guys just randomly called, made orders, and the only advertisement I could do was just on my Facebook page. I just posted every single day because I didn't have money for marketing or print posters or whatever. And then just like one random day after 2 months, two guys call me, and like one guy ordered two tacos, one guy ordered one taco, and that was like $9 with the revenue. But it's like a really happy day for me, right? Because a lot of people were talking bad stuff behind my back, and like calling me Taco King and all this stuff. Uh and then one of the guys like texted back and said like, this is the best taco I've ever had in my life. And then at that time I was like, hey, could you post this on Facebook, what you just texted me? If you can, then I'll give you a free taco next time. And a free taco for me was a lot of money, like it was, because like I was barely eating my meals. And then when he did that though, like it sent it, like there was no like algorithms that filtered. So when you posted something, it showed it to every single one of your friends. And Facebook also was not advertising at that point. So when he posted it on my page, like every one of his like few hundred friends saw it, and then it started going viral. And then I noticed that. So I'm like, hey, the other guy, I had to text him right away too. I'm like, can you post the same thing as well too? And then if it was good, and then he also posted, and his friends started joining, and then it started going really viral. So that $100, like I was able to turn into like 10 grand. And then eventually came to a point where like I couldn't scale this by myself. Like I needed to either do this full time, or just completely close down. Because for me, and like I thought going back to school would be a better decision. So I eventually closed it down. Went back to school, like applied for like every scholarship and grant out there. I think I applied for like 200 plus. So I ended up getting a full ride back. Graduated with a degree in finance, and then I got a job in middle market underwriting as a banker, because I thought like going to Wall Street would be like the best way to earn money, and would be the most exciting things. Turns out I absolutely hated it because there's like no thinking involved. But anyway, and then I started my food truck while I was doing that as well too, with some of the money that I made from that, which I learned how to trade options, and then um, was able to self-fund myself through all that. So, and then I got into Bitcoin around 2014, 15, when I was making with my co-founder, which was BitMaker's small rewards app. And 7 years later, we're here still working on this project, and a lot of very interesting stuff happening in between.
Yeah. And so a lot there to kind of
Yeah.
unpack. And so, Simon, when when BitMaker started, I think it was launched in 2014. Is that correct?
Yeah, around that time. Yeah.
Around 2014. And so,
Yeah.
when did the exact name change for StormX? Was it in 2015? Am I incorrect, or am I correct on that?
So we did a name change in 2017. So that was around
2017,
that time when we launched the token.
the ICO.
Yeah. So yeah, the crowd sale was like November of 2017 to December, and then just for branding and everything. So what the primary reason for that was we were rewarding people Bitcoin only with BitMaker. And then this happened like in the beginning of 2017, where we were primarily sending Bitcoin rewards, but the transaction fees got really high as the price kept going up. Like it was $400 like steady for a really long time for like the first like the 2 or 3 years that we were running it, and then it started going up to like 800 and 1200 and 3000, and everyone started using it because it started like getting a lot of popularity, right? And then so we like kind of ran into a situation where at one point we were trying to send like $6,000 worth of payments for the users for the week, and it would have cost us 10,000. Like this business is definitely not sustainable at all. So we pivoted to Ethereum. Ethereum was like $10, and the transaction fees were much lower at the time. And so we pivoted to Ethereum, and then Ethereum did the same thing. It went from like 10 to like 50 to like 100 and to $430, and then everyone started talking about it and using it, and the transaction fees became too expensive as well. And that's where like, okay, this isn't sustainable. So we decided to launch our own token, and we have a patent on this as well too. We figured out a way to reduce the transaction costs to minimize the Ethereum gas fees when we send out the transactions. So if you notice in our app, when you withdraw the cash back, we never charge you like a withdrawal fee. There might be gas fees attached to it when you're trying to stake it or whatever, but when we send out, like, even if it's like $5 or whatever, we're not going to charge you the gas fees, even if it's like 10-15 bucks, because we can actually on the back end send it to you for pretty cheap. Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. And so,
Yeah.
wait, talking about the wallet thing, so I know there was kind of a change with the Trust Wallet and staking feature. So, can you kind of talk about the update or what's going to happen with that?
Yeah, no, the staking for Trust Wallet, that's just more iOS. Apple's
Okay.
been like on this like crypto witch hunt where yeah, I think they disabled some features with Trust Wallet. It's nothing related with us. Like,
Okay.
yeah, the way that Trust Wallet verifies transactions, that was changed in the like iOS's like update like a couple weeks ago, and then yeah, it became harder to use. So we just point everyone to MetaMask. So
Gotcha.
yeah,
And before I get into some of the juicy stuff, for those that just may not know, and I don't want to be naive to think that everyone knows what the company StormX is.
yeah,
And so it's an online crypto company that gives you more than one way to earn crypto, cash back, and passive income. So instead of me saying it, we got the best person to talk about it right here. So
yeah.
Simon, kind of give us a brief overview. What does StormX do, and kind of what is the company?
Yeah, so StormX is, what we're trying to be is the easiest place that you can earn online. So not just using crypto, but just easiest place to earn. And so right now, most of our focus is around cashback. So you can shop, in Nike or eBay or Adidas, or like we have 1,000+ stores where you can earn cashback just by shopping online. You can also complete some microtasks that are on there as well too. But and then within pretty soon we'll launch a crypto debit card as well too, where you'll be able to get use this debit rewards debit card with much higher cashback than traditional debit cards out there, like Sapphire Reserve or American Express. And so we're really excited to launch this. Just waiting for partners, so we're very eager to get this launched. And then eventually down the line, we're trying to expand into the gig marketplace as well too, which is sort of like the TaskRabbit, Upwork. But um, it sort of comes into what I told you about the taco story as well. Like, just like I had a really tough time growing up, always needing to find a place to earn money, because like I just struggled so hard financially, but there was never like an easy place where users could go and find ways to earn money online, like a legit place. And so that's what we're trying to create. And it's exciting. Yeah, it's just as we continue expanding, continue growing, and adding more product lines and stuff like that. Yeah, just vision is coming into fruition, which is really awesome to see.
Yeah. And so some of the few ways people can make money, and please correct me if I get anything misspoke. So of course, when you spend using StormX, you can get cash back on partners. Then you have the reward system where
Hmm.
you're able to get more cash back, and then you have the additional the 1.5 and 1% as well on top of the crypto. So can you kind of break down the different layers that you guys have, because you guys just kind of stacked, passive income on top of passive income?
Yeah. So with the cashback stuff, we really created an awesome model just because like there's like Rakuten or Honey or Lolly and all those guys. Like it's just a very baseline cashback. So whatever you spend, you get 6% from eBay, and that's generally it, right? You like all of these like cashback providers, they get essentially the same rate from the parent company, like Nikes and the eBays and stuff like that. So there's like it's kind of like, why do you use Uber versus Lyft, right? Like it's pretty much the same service kind of thing. But for us, like there's the 6%, the base rate. But if you're a rewards member, you have our tokens which you can earn or purchase while you're to the top. You can sort of think of it like airline miles, where you could upgrade to higher tiers like bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, and excuse me, the higher tier that you get, you can earn higher cashback. So like gold member, for example, is a 2x higher cashback. So instead of 6%, you get 12% back on all your purchases. And then the 2x applies for every store that we have. So like we have hotel trips on Agoda, which is like 7% that you can get 14%. Nike's like 3%, you can get 6%. I forgot what eBay was recently, but up to like 5 or 7%, you can get double that. And then if you're a diamond member, you get like 2.5 times a 250% bonus on top of that. So instead of like 7%, you can get 24.5%. So like when you have all these benefits, as we continue adding more and more stores, it just becomes more useful, right? And also it becomes useful as to why you need the token, because like if you have these tokens, you get really great offers from all of these stores. And like for example, like one of my close friends is, he's a pretty high up guy at a very well known crypto company that makes a lot of money, and he travels a lot for work, and usually stays at like 5-star hotels or whatever. But he uses our app every single time. He's like, I got $3,000 back just from hotels, and like, it's crazy.
Wow.
Like, yeah, it's a really awesome, perk to have. But like, like the 1,000 stores that we only have right now, it'll expand to over 15,000 more when we add the debit card. So it'll be even more useful. Also have a lot of stores and categories that a lot of users have been asking for, but we haven't been able to fill yet, like grocery stores, like restaurants, gas stations, and a lot of stuff like that. So if you could just use this every day on stuff that you would have already spent, it becomes really useful. So, and then on top of this, so we have the basic cash back. We have the rewards bonus for having the tokens, and the third is a staking layer. So you could stake your Storm tokens, log into the smart contract. Right now we're offering 10%, and that's rewarded out every week, and it's just a cool way to just stack up more reward points in a way. So
Yeah. And so I noticed there's like 1.3 billion currently staked, and the current token supply is like 10 billion. So how does that feel to have over 1% locked up, on the platform?
yeah, well, so it's 13% right now, but
Well, 30, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I mean it's pretty awesome because we just launched this. Like I think a lot of people forget. Yeah, the token's been live for like 4 years or so. Company's been around for like 7 years, but we only launched the rewards program like a year ago. And so like to accomplish this in a year, it's been pretty awesome. And this is like primarily organic. We didn't do much marketing because like we really wanted to focus more on the product, because like if the product it's still buggy and has a lot of issues and all this stuff, and we do very aggressive marketing, and then a lot of people sign up for the first time, don't like the experience, and then we'll just uninstall and never come back, right? So um because we launched Storm Shop like a year and a half ago, the rewards model has only been launched for a year. We wanted to keep sort of slow releasing it out and keep testing the product, making it better, getting more feedback, and then once we felt comfortable, then we wanted to start being a little bit more aggressive in marketing. So we started with the Blazers, and then we're working on some other couple of things that will really help us expand. So that 13%, we expect that to be utilized a lot more, definitely. But yeah, it's been exciting just because like just word of mouth, and we've have like 103,000 people or something like that that's interacting with it on the wallet side, and we have almost 1 million users that have downloaded since we launched this product a year and a half ago. So
And so with all the members now, and I know a lot of people compare or they think StormX or Honey is similar because of this kind of the same thing they went after. Honey's more so on the fiat side, and we know PayPal acquired them for like 4 billion. So
Mhm.
is StormX plan to stay their own company, or at some point in the future, are they looking to be, acquired once they're more established?
Yeah, I mean, for that, it's tough to say, but I mean, as of right now, we have no acquisition plans. But it's more of a PayPal with Honey. It's more of a strategic acquisition. It's just like, okay, you know, Honey could do whatever they can on their own, but if they have PayPal backing them, they can be way more aggressive. So I don't know if you noticed the ads for Honey you've seen now versus like 2 years ago. It's way more apparent. You know, they just have so much more money and more firepower and a bigger team and all this stuff to just be able to go after a bigger market, right? And it's not necessarily like acquisition because like, oh, I want to get rich kind of thing like that. For me, it's just like, how could we spread the word like as much as possible? And you also need a good strategic fit. So we're definitely not going to sell to companies just for like, oh, we're going to cash out kind of thing. But like, is there a company that's going to acquire and then really help expand this product out to a ton of people? And if that's the case, then maybe. But no plans as we are right now. But for me, it's honestly like, the cool thing about our app is we're so global. We're in 150 plus countries right now, and like from a scaling perspective, there's absolutely no reason why like over a billion people can't use this kind of thing. Or, Honey's only in 4 countries: US, UK, Canada, and Australia. We have a lot bigger potential. It's just all about growth and scale.
All right, all right. Thanks for answering that. So, is a plan for StormX, are you guys looking to get listed on Coinbase in the future? Is that a goal for the company?
I mean, we don't have any say in that, right? So Coinbase decides which assets they want to add or not. I think it's a lot based on like sentiment, like what users are asking for and demanding. So that's based on them, and yeah, I mean that's about it. I can't really say anything more, but I mean that's
Understood.
yeah, it's based on yeah. I mean we have absolutely no power on that, and we always ask like, hey, if you want Coinbase, like don't bug us, like tweet at them and ask like, hey, if you want StormX kind of thing, because they're the ones with the power for that.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm guessing that would be definitely a positive though for the company, yes?
I mean, for us, like, Coinbase would be really awesome just because, like, we're always trying to focus on user experience. Like, crypto's kind of complicated for the normal people. Our product lead calls these guys muggles, right? Like that have never interacted with crypto before. But like, you have to memorize wallet addresses and stuff like that. And if you try to talk to a normal person and like, hey, send it to 0x, blah 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 blah, they're gonna be like, what? I'm so confused. But Coinbase has this thing where you can just send it to someone with an email address that has a Coinbase account. So it's like, Simon, blah, 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 like blah, blah, blah.com, Mike at blah, blah, blah.com. Like you can just send ETH or, StormX in that way, which would be really cool from a user experience. And then we can integrate that with that app. So yeah, for us, definitely it'd be a huge plus and would love to have that for sure.
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
So, but before we get into some of the Mexico dealings, let's briefly talk about the StormX and NBA Trailblazer partnership. It's a 5-year deal, I believe, and I think it goes bigger than just having the StormX logo on the jersey because you
Mhm.
guys have arena exclusive rights as well. So, can you kind of talk about what's that actually mean for the company?
Yeah. Are you asking in terms of like what other stuff do we get out of this partnership or?
Yes, yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, so we have the the jersey patch, but we also have like on the actual court by the basket, like to most games, not 100%. Most games, you'll see the StormX logo on the baseline. So during the actual games, you'll see it and like highlights and all this stuff. So it's pretty cool. We just get a lot of exposure, right? So people will be like, "What the hell's a StormX?" and they start looking into it, and they're like, "Oh, this is really cool," and then start getting into it more. And then we also have like IP rights and stuff like that as well too. So a lot of ads and promotions and stuff that we can run. We have rights with being able to use Blazers and a couple other perks and stuff like that as well. But
Cool.
Yeah.
And then last question I got before you tell us about the news that's happening in the future. Is there any thing you can tell us about StormX being able to be staked on the Voyager app platform, or is that in the works, or anything going to happen in the future with that?
Yeah. I mean, we want to make it happen. Steve definitely wants to make it happen as well too. I'm meeting him this week, so I'm flying out to Daytona to meet him and
Awesome.
Landon, some of those awesome guys. So yeah, we're gonna talk about that. So it's just like I'm busy, he's really busy, and how hard to coordinate, time to set aside. And yeah, this time when we meet in person, I think we'll be able to sort of dive deeper and just to like just be able to cram stuff out and think about how we could do this, because there's definitely integrations on both sides that we have to do that's a little bit outside the traditional norm. But yeah, I mean, the Voyager team is awesome. I love them, and then they want to make it
Good.
happen, which is awesome. Yeah.
Good. Well, it's definitely good to hear that you guys are at least working towards that, because I definitely think it'd be good for both parties, in
Hmm.
the future. And
Hmm.
so I know you hinted to there's some things that's happening, in Mexico and maybe some other places. So kind of talk to us about, what's happening new for StormX, Simon.
Yeah. So a little history, real quick. So our team is 100% remote. So we started doing this thing last year where several of our core members just spend like a month or two in one location together in like the same house. So we live together and we work together, and it just gives us a way to hyper focus because we spend a lot of time just working together, and it's just a lot more efficient as well too. So last year we went to Korea, we launched the rewards model and staking and referral, and like we got a lot done, and that helped us really propel to the next stage. This month, we've been working on a new project related more towards, I mean, there's other stuff that we worked on, but towards governance. So recently, we had governance where we had a token vote where, we had a swap last year for Storm to StormX tokens where some people missed the 4 months, and then we had another month extension, but they still missed it. So they're like, yeah, get we want to have that open, so we let our community decide on how to open it. And then, luckily, like 95% people said yes, and then it got approved. So we, reopened the swap in a new way, send it to people without having them to pay gas fees and all this stuff. But we realized the flaw in that was it's very easy to game the system just because you can create a lot of fake accounts on the StormX app, and then you could, just vote that way, right? So a better way for that is we're going to launch a governance token. So that's sort of the big surprise here. So if you've used the app, you're like a rewards member and stuff like that. The more you're engaged with the community, you're going to get free governance token that you can have impact. And we'll do a lot of other DeFi stuff like yield farms and all that stuff that we've been working on behind the scenes. But sort of going back to the cashback layer, we have the three current where you have like the cashback, the rewards cashback, staking, and now we're going to have a fourth layer on top of that, which is, on the governance token side as well too. So yeah, I think the community will be really excited because it really rewards the power users and the people that are the loudest in the community. And then, they'll be rewarded for their actions. And then, they can also use those tokens to make impact within sort of the products, and a lot of people have been asking for stuff like when are we going to lower our tiers, like or can we add new cryptocurrencies, all that stuff. But yeah, the guys that engage with StormX the most are going to be able to make the strongest decision. So it's going to be awesome, and it's been a lot of work. Our team literally worked like 12-hour plus, like everyone, like on weekends and stuff like that too, which is why the hacker house is so awesome. Like you just and then we also played a lot of like basketball and stuff too, which is really cool. But
Nice. You got a jump shot, Simon?
I don't, but I just like playing. I'm trash,
I
but
hear you there.
I love to play. Yeah, it's just fun.
So we got a definitely a good friend of both of ours, Rob from Digital Asset News. He says Simon got a good mic.
Yes, I learned my lesson, Rob.
Yeah, it sounds good, man. It sounds good. And
Yeah.
so Basically, so for the governance token is the main thing for the governance token. The power users will be able to get that ability to vote on different proposals and things like that. Is there anything else that would be attached to that governance token, or is that kind of the main aspect to it?
Yeah, so there'll be, like yield farm and stuff like that. I don't know if you know too much about yield farming and
Yeah,
sort of the DeFi aspect, but when you add liquidity, you get more, tokens and stuff like that. There's other features that are part sort of the DeFi, excitement has been having for about last year and a half. But yeah, for us, it's always about like utility. Like how could we actually, make it useful? Because there's a lot of governance tokens that are there like that don't do anything for us. Like, oh, okay, this is actually a really good use case. And yeah, I mean, we have a lot of product decisions stuff that our community is really vocal, and we're always listening. I mean, we just not might be able to respond because it's a little early because we're still in the planning stages or whatever. But at this point, yeah, we've been building quite a bit, and yeah, well, hopefully within a month or two, I think we'll be able to launch like fully. And yeah, and the thing for us is like we never want to launch until the full utility is always there. That's our use case. So.
gotcha. So is it safe to say then that the company is looking to officially have the governance token launch this year in 2021?
Yeah, yeah. So this is So outside of this and a debit card project, like those two are major projects that we've been working on night and day, and yeah, it's both are very exciting. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the debit card as well too. It's just like lots of store expansions, so much more utility for the token as well too. Way easier to onboard. Like my goal is always to get my grandma, just having anyone's grandma to be able to use it, and just debit card really does that.
So can you give us an ETA on the debit card? Will it be out this year?
Yeah, I think so for sure. Yeah, we just got an update from the legal compliance, and it's definitely moving. It's just taking a while, and traditional companies, yeah, take their time. I mean, yeah, it's very important because compliance and everything it should take as long as possible to get everything right. And yeah, I think most of the people are like, when debit card, I've never worked for a bank. It's a lot of paperwork, and it is a very lengthy process. But it is moving, and our partners are pretty excited. We're really excited, and it'll get there. Yeah.
Cool. And so I think that's pretty much all I wanted to really cover. I think you gave us a lot. And just for the people that's still asking in the comment section, the secret Mexico mission is the governance token. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right, so everyone's heard it. The governance token also will be out this year. So in a perfect world, we're going to have the debit card, and we also will have the governance token in 2021 for StormX.
Yep.
That's big stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. So I want to say thanks for coming on first and foremost. And if there's anything that maybe we didn't touch on, or maybe you want to, tell the community, you have the floor now, Simon.
Download the app and actually use it. So yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people just focus on token stuff, but like, yeah, use the app, give us feedback. We're always listening. So anytime someone says stuff, we might not respond, but even if we don't, we're definitely listening to everyone. But use the apps just because like you would be buying stuff anyway. At least get cash back. We really spend like we spend a lot of time negotiating deals to get people the best cashback rates, and our users, should utilize that as much as possible. Like if you ever book a hotel without using StormX app, like I might just slap you just because like you threw away like $20 or like $40 or whatever, and like man, like buy
Yeah.
me Chipotle with that money instead, kind of thing.
And one thing I do like about you guys' business model is when the users make money, StormX make money, as well as the vendors make money. And I
Yeah.
think that's one reason why you guys are so successful.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, seriously, it's awesome. Like, yeah, just everyone wins kind of mentality. I mean, it's a great model, and there's a lot of like for me, like I could have started any company, and the reason really that I like our company so much is like we're not trying to sell stuff to our users. We're like SaaS companies and stuff like that. You have to sell like a $200 subscription to people, and you're always kind of annoying people, and like they might really need it or not need it, but there's definitely a subset of group of people that will need a certain product, right? But um, most of the case, like when as a as a tech company, you always have to grow every quarter, and then you start forcing it on people that don't need it just to be able to sell stuff, right? And it's annoying. Like it's not like, do I really want to do that in my free time kind of thing? Versus like for us, it's like, hey, dude, we're trying to give you free money, man. Like you better like
Yeah,
if you don't use it, it's shame on you. But
yeah,
like even if we don't push it, people will find out on their own, which you've seen. But when we do push it and people realize it, and then people are like, wow, why didn't I use this for a long time? Like people are starting to do the math and like, oh my gosh, all the like last year, like there was a huge trend on Pokemon cards, like Logan Paul and all these guys showed it, and these guys are buying like tens of thousands of dollars of cards, and I'm like, man, these guys should have used our app because they could have got like hundreds of dollars back on each of their purchases. Just like, but anyway, yeah.
And it's funny you say that, Simon, because I think it goes to the testimony to say that we're still so early in this space, right?
Yeah.
And so that just goes to show how much wealth is still going to be coming. And then with the StormX having that first mover advantage, I definitely think it's a plus.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I mean, we've done a lot of, I mean, we've already talked about it, but a lot of things that are unique outside of just Honey, which was already a multi-billion-dollar company. But yeah, every metric or every product, like ours is superior. It's just all about scaling. So it's going to be an exciting year over the next year for sure. So
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
Simon, man, thanks again for coming on the channel, man. We definitely been working on this for a couple months to try to get schedules to match. So I want to say
thanks
thanks
for
for
being
coming
so
on.
patient. Yeah, thanks for being patient. And yeah, we've been pretty heads down for a while, but yeah, finally got back home. Like it's been, had some time. So thanks
Yeah.
again, Mike. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. So if
Yeah.
anyone wants to reach out to Simon or follow you on Twitter, where can they follow you, Simon?
Simon, so it's Simon YU and then SEA, like C. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So there he is, Simon, co-founder of StormX, online crypto cashback company. Thanks for coming on, Simon, and future millionaires. See you next time.